was leaning on it. Did I mess it up? That whole, mess up the harmonics, maybe? Maybe not. Screw them in. Wow, I've never seen it move this slow. That's strange. This is ASA, by the way. There's a 9AJ. Almost said that without chewing on my words. You're going slow. Why are you going so slow? Oh, there you go. So, alright, well I did, what did I do, like 17 bottom solid layers and like 6 perimeters. So maybe it's the perimeters that are going super slow, and then it's just cranking out the bottom solid layers. The reason for all the bottom solid layers, and it's actually really high infill too, 40% infill, like 10 top layers, and it's a foot for the kickstand on my dirt bike. It's a little bit of oversized foot, so in the sand or loamy type stuff, the kickstand doesn't just sink in and the bike fall over. And I designed this a few years back, and the one I had lasted at least a year or two, and that finally broke, and I just never got around to reprinting it. The printer that I had that did ASA was, I won't totally diss the manufacturer right now, but no thank you. And so anyway, I'm back to printing some ASA here, and I'm printing a whole bunch of ASA stuff actually. Good, because it's nice, because it's not obvious to anyone for the UV protective properties. Most of the plastics we print with are not necessarily good with in the sun, ultraviolet rays. And but ASA, as I understand it, has some additives. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But so I made some, just going back and printing some outdoor parts for my mountain bike. Maybe I'll make another video showing what that is. Well, it might be potentially sell that product. I'm not really expecting to make any money on selling products necessarily. I have what I do, and it doesn't necessarily, it does never involve selling products. I design products for people, for clients who want to, clients with a vision for a product, and I will make that product. I will create the 3D CAD design for that. And there's plenty of things that I do that I just make things for myself, that I want for myself, and don't even bother trying to sell them, because it would just take so much effort to make, tens and tens of dollars. And like this kickstand foot here, for example. Although, if someone else had an e-commerce and wanted to sell this, I'd potentially license it. But in any case, just a little sample for the day of the K1 zipping around in action. Look how nice that prints. ASA parts are so nice. I don't know if I have one over here. Oh, I do have my first, was it my first ASA part I printed on this? And it cracked. So obviously it does have the internal stresses, as they always do. But boy, I tell you what, this thing printed, oops, I couldn't print like half this height. I would print these at half this height. I could explain what this is. I used to print these at half this height because they would split while printing. The reason this one split is because it was on the table and I rested like under a piece of paper or something. I rested my body weight on my elbow on it and it cracked. But you can see there's internal stresses here because there's a gap, right? So that's telling you that it's trying to pull itself apart, and I'm sure it's all the way. But the reality of it is, for what this is doing, it's perfectly, it's really plenty strong. And even if some got cracked, who cares? And if you did care that some got cracked, then well, you just print a new one, you know, and it's probably it's $5 or $10 worth of material, probably closer to $5. And whatever print time, it actually took a lot of hours to print. Printed it on this bad boy. Oh, I tell you what, you print this thing right out. And so what this is a shade for underneath the light bar on my side-by-side, a Can-Am X3, pretty popped up. But the light bar would just make a ton of glare on the windshield, and I couldn't see. If I put my light bar on, I basically could see less because there was so much glare on the windshield. And so I figured out, you know, how long and what angle, blah blah blah. And so this, I can clip these onto they basically clip onto the heat sink on the light bar, and I can just put a bunch across, and it covers the windshield. I did it last year, and I don't know if those were in ASA. I don't remember if I did those in ASA. That was a different printer. That was a CR10, Creality CR10 printer. I think I printed those on. I had a Lulzbot Taz 6 before that. That was not economical purchase. Yikes. Anyway, so this was $600. I was like $4,000 into that the Lulzbot, and it wasn't very reliable, to be honest. It was cool as far as like high temperature and high flow and things like that. That was cool, but the build plate was like $150 build plate setup, and you break the glass and it's like $75, and somehow sometimes I'm bored in China shop, and I think I'm on my third or fourth heat bed for those at $75 a pop. Well, the original one, it was integrated, the heater and the glass, and that was like $150 or whatever it was. And then I think they made it two separate pieces. And of course, I broke many versions of the glass, bought a bunch of those. The printer was $2,500. The print heads were like $500 each. I had a dual material print head. I had the high flow print head. I had so I spent easily $4,000, maybe $5,000 on that printer. But I learned a lot about 3D printing, and so there you go. I'm gonna add a CR10, and then I got my this little guy over here, the S3S1 Pro, which is a good little workhorse. Had some problems with it initially, but it turned out that it was more my tuning was just, I was used to tuning for a different machine, and the dynamics of this, it was just, I think the all-metal hot end the thermal transfer would make the PLA gooey. And so just like they say, leave the lid off of this if you print PLA, and this one, I expect it's probably for the same reason. So anyway, once I figured that out, I got that working properly, then it's been a pretty good little workhorse. And the 3S1 Pro. Creality K1. Alright, one last little, we're all done. One last little speed burst here. Yeah, oh, there you go. That was it. Look at that. Look at this thing go. It's angry. It's got to be those bottom saw layers. That, I don't know, it's like 17 or something like that. Bottom saw layers. I think it's still on bottom saw layers. I don't know how much I like the look of that. Alright, I think it's past the bottom, so I think I see the floor of where the kickstand, the underside of the kickstand foot will rest on that platform. I think we're working with the walls here now. That's the cap, the screws on.